This one may be interesting, at least more interesting than whatever I recorded 2 sessions ago. But I might be pretty rusty because it's been several weeks since I last recorded anything on Remember 11. So, to review what I did last time, particularly for me, I created I started up a new run of, what's it called? Kokoro's side, and put it in one of the last save slots. Let's see, it'll be heaven is here, right? Yes. Yeah, okay. No, it's not quite right. No, that is correct. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this and get all the way to the end. That is, all the way to the end, which would be, well, the end of Kokoro's route. And because I started this run, right after I got the Satoru's plans fails ending, this save should result, when it gets to the end, in trapped in the shelter cabin alone disaster ending, or whatever it's called. So, to recall why I know that ending exists is because I looked up a list of bad endings for Kokoro's side. The reason why I did that is because there are endings I couldn't figure out how to get. Those included Maizumi Annihilation 2, because Maizumi Annihilation 2 is a specific set of choices, and I didn't think to make them. And all of the endings that you have to get an ending as Satoru, and then after you got that ending as Satoru, start going through as Kokoro and get them. Because I didn't even think to do that. Right. So I looked up that list, that's how I know about this. Now as I go through, I gotta mute that. Okay, now that the music's muted on my recording, I'm gonna keep talking through this. Once, as I go through this Kokoro side, this whole thing in order to get there, when I encounter places where there's like an easy bad ending to get, where it seemed like one bad decision or something will trigger it. For example, Satoru drowned in the bathroom, right? You don't take the pills. Poisoned food ending, which we now know once we got to the end of the game, the food itself wasn't actually poisoned. We eat the food, and then we get the poisoned food ending, and actually go to Satoru and load up new Satoru games, and hopefully we'll hit some bad endings as Satoru as a result. Like, basically mirroring what happens between Satoru and Kokoro. If you hit bad endings as Satoru, causes bad endings as Kokoro, then I would expect you hit bad endings as Kokoro, then you would result in some bad endings as Satoru. Particularly the drowned in the bathroom one. So, like, I'm not going to go all the way through in one shot, as along the way I'm going to hit some bad endings and see if they can trigger bad endings as Satoru. Now, here's kind of where the story starts. So, when I first played through, if you remember 11, when I first loaded the game, new game, it didn't give me an option as to playing as Satoru or Kokoro. It just immediately jumped into this prologue, which is the same for both Satoru and Kokoro, and it just immediately went into Kokoro. So when you first play your first game, you have no real options besides Kokoro. You end up playing as Kokoro. Then, and I went through Kokoro, dodging some bad endings and hitting some others. And then once I got to the golden ending, it told me now that the Satoru side is unlocked. Okay, I can unmute this now because this cutscene is over. So now that that Satoru scene is unlocked, I didn't be able to, let's see, go down the stairs, I think. Can't handle them. Doesn't matter there. Let's see, just asking directly. Now, like that, Satoru route is unlocked, I went through as Satoru, and then got to an ending. And nowhere in there, did I think that getting bad endings as one character could well, actually I did. But I only thought really about the dialogue. Like, I only thought that doing certain things as one character may change the dialogue when you go play as the other character. Because I actually saw that happen as I was trying to find the other bad endings as Kokoro. And here's kind of why it doesn't make any sense that getting bad endings as one character would trigger bad endings as the other. Because if you're playing as Kokoro, you wouldn't have played as for your first time. You haven't played as Satoru yet because you can't. Satoru is not unlocked. Whereas if you play, and then if you're playing as Satoru, so you don't really think, oh, like getting bad endings as Satoru triggers bad endings as Kokoro, because when you play through Kokoro, can't play through Satoru yet. You can't play through Satoru until you get to the good ending as Kokoro, which means you've already dodged all the bad endings. Okay. Then you go and play as Satoru. But when you play as Satoru, you've already gotten the good ending as Kokoro. So you're already set up as Satoru. You didn't get any bad endings as Kokoro. And so you didn't... and so you don't hit any bad endings due to bad endings as Kokoro. And so in ordinarily you ordinarily play through this to get the good ending as Satoru for your first time, you don't have to worry about dodging bad endings that you get from wrong choices as the other character, because you've either not played as the other character, or you've gotten the good ending as the other character. The only way this could trigger, perhaps, is if you were getting bad endings as Kokoro after you got the good ending as Kokoro, because you wanted to find all the bad Kokoro stuff before you started as Satoru, because you decided to do things in that order. If you get what I mean. So I found this whole structure kind of strange, and as a result of this kind of strange structure, I didn't really think about triggering bad endings as one character by making bad decisions as the other character, right? Because the game's structure didn't suggest that, right? Well, I looked up a guide for Kokoro's bad endings, and it turned out that that really was the case. The bad endings is one, trigger bad endings is the other. And you're like, okay. So what? Well, I installed the Japanese native version of this from the disk on the same computer that I'm running the game from. And when I did this was after I started the English fan translation, which you can't actually do by installing the Japanese first because I couldn't find the patch file by itself, unfortunately. And when I loaded this game and I hit new game in this Japanese version, which I installed, I saw that I could pick Kokoro or Satoru from the start. Okay? And at first I thought, okay, maybe some system variable is set somewhere that's... I'm going to drop a save on this one. Let's save in 49, and let's see here. I'll do 59. And I'm gonna take them. No, don't take them. Don't take them. That's what it was meant to do. I gotta take a very awkward potty break here, but I'm gonna wait till it gets to a choice or something before I pause encoding. Working through some really bad stomach aches here in order to get this done. So I'm gonna pause. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm back. So I think I have to press her, right? If I want to get, it doesn't matter right now because I'm not, hitting bad endings here. I'm not going past the bad ending, but, yeah, press harder, I guess. So, as I was saying, when I launched the Japanese version, which I installed, I got a choice between Kokoro and Satoru right away on New Game. And it looked like there were some saves in the save files. Like somehow some of the junk from my English install managed to influence the Japanese install somewhat. Which is really weird, but not totally unexpected, because the Japanese install does do something to try to detect if there's already an install on your computer, for some reason. Anyway. So okay, hit that bad ending. Now I'm going to go to Satoru now. See if that creates a bad ending as Satoru. Yes, save system data. So I was like, okay, this is some sort of install glitch. And this was before I discovered bad endings as Kokoro due to making wrong decisions as Satoru. So I didn't really think about like these cross bad endings. I guess what I'm going to call them is cross bad endings. Well, then I discovered these cross bad endings by looking them up because I'm dumb and have to do stuff like that, apparently. I thought I had this aha moment. It actually happened on recording last episode. And I thought, you know, if the game were designed such that you could pick Kokoro or Satoru from the start, and you were not just pigeonholed into Kokoro, then this would kind of make sense, because maybe you would, like, get this bad ending as Kokoro, and you couldn't figure out how to avoid the bad ending, so maybe you thought something with the Satoru side, and so you go try to do something different as Satoru, and then you find out that he gets a bad ending too, and it doesn't work. And then you go, and you have to think about it some more, and you have to puzzle it through. And you're noticing like the sides are influencing each other, and so you're kind of working both sides as you go through. So you can think of it as like 428 in the Lost City of Shibuya, if you're ever familiar with that game, where you have like multiple characters you can play as. And you can get bad endings as different characters depending on what the divisions of the other one, and you're kind of like switching between characters trying to find the right combination of decisions between the characters to get you to the good endings. Or good ending, that is. Something like that, right? But you have to have the choice to be able to play as both of them from the start for that mechanic to really work. Right. Now, I don't know how well it would work anyway, because someone would have to decide to switch characters if they hit a bad ending. But it definitely is more plausible to accidentally hit these cross bad endings, because bad endings are things you're supposed to accidentally hit if you make bad decisions. If you could start with both characters from the start. So I thought, maybe this wasn't some weird poltergeist, one install influencing the other thing going on. When you installed the Japanese, maybe that's how it was supposed to be. Right? That the game was developed like that. That's how the original game worked, is you could pick between both characters. And the TL Wiki people who made this fan translation decided they had this preferred route order that you should play as Kokoro first. And I understand why they would come up with that, because there's a lot more plot revelation as Satoru than as Kokoro. And they decided to enforce that in the code. Right? You know how I feel about route order suggestions, right? I hate them, right? Let the person who's when you play the game, you should just pick routes based on what you think will get you where you want to go and slowly figure out the structure of the game. And that's part of the gameplay. That's part of the experience of the game, is discovering through the game what the structure of the game is. And this, I thought this was like the whole problem of route order suggestions in visual novels actually being hard coded into the visual novel by the fans, which is very extreme of route order suggesting. And I was going to make this big rant video, which would be like a non-spoiler rant to the best of my ability. About, being, disrespectful to the original creators of the game in your fan translation. But I wanted to make sure I wanted to check. So I had a computer that never had Remember11 installed on it. Actually, and so that was Windows 10. I had this laptop. This is my laptop, which is my portable computing device. And see what would happen. Just install a Japanese version. And it turns out I installed the Japanese version. I hit new game on the Japanese version, and I got no option whether it's to play as Satoru or Kokoro. It just started as Kokoro. So the fan translators, the people who translated Remember11 to English, didn't do anything wrong. They didn't change the game structure in any sort of way. This is still muted. They just, they did nothing wrong, and that rant would have been, a big mistake. It would be unfounded. So, it would be unfounded. So, I'm glad I didn't make that rant. Yes, that's how it was from the original published version, was that you had to play as Kokoro first. So then I left with this whole idea of, well, if you had to play as Kokoro first, but the structure of the game, these cross bad endings, suggests that at some point in the development of the game, they had the idea of making it like Never Ever 17, where you could make a choice at the beginning. And they kind of started writing it with that in mind, but as they were writing it, they kind of it turned out that the Satoru side just happened to get the second batch of information in it. And then they went, okay, it would be easier if we just enforce the order and make them play as Kokoro first before Satoru. That will make the writing easier. We'll be able to, write what we want. We couldn't figure out how to write this. We're on a time const or something to make the revelations even. And so we're just going to put all the revelations on the Satoru side and enforce the order. But as a remnant of the previous ideas, the cross-bad endings still remained. That's the theory I can come up with for why this cross-bad endings exist. I'm going to have to read this because we got new stuff. Moving my limbs as best as I could, I struggled to move. I turned around and around as though searching for an exit. But it was unbearable. Someone was pushing against the back of my head. It was like a huge mass of iron pressing down on my head with nothing I could do to stop it. The convulsions of my limbs became more and more violent. My insides were burning hot. My heart raged. My consciousness grew hazy. I exhaled one last time. My body sank. Even if I tried to extend my hand, there was nothing to hold on to. I melted into the darkness, slowly decomposing, crumbling apart. My consciousness flaking away, falling to lie in a thick layer, like the petals of a snowflower. In the darkness, my existence fusses, it pulverized, scatters, and falls to lie thick over all. Soon I filled the world, transforming into small particles to cover my surroundings. I was blank, like thin air, no more substantial than a heat haze. I knew an instant in eternity, an eternity in an instant. Fact and fiction jumbled together in chaos, illusions and reality, and finally zero, a space containing nothing. Where the three overlapped, my consciousness settled and finally vanished. Nice reference to the logo thing. The story has not finished. Truth is not revealed. And it circulates to an incident. It is an infinite loop. So that's kind of my rant, right? I'm assuming that there is some developmental chaos to this that left this kind of vestigial structure to it. Now, let's see here. I didn't look up the Satoru bad endings, but I could kind of infer that that was going to trigger a Satoru bad ending. I mean, Satoru murdered in the bathroom in day. There's no in B. I mean, it's got to, you know, it's got to be a B somewhere. Stabbed in the bathroom in day. It's got to be an in B, so. So, yeah, Satoru murdered in the bathroom in B. And then we got killed by the mysterious shadow. Utsumi's plan execution, and after Utsumi's plan execution, there's more bad endings that are possible. So we'll have to look into that somehow. We're gonna hit more bad endings as Kokoro. But let's continue. We know that the bad endings that can trigger are after the whole stabbing thing. But I have a hard time remembering the exact structure of this, so I tend to mess up. But load. Collective symptoms, right? I take the pills. There's some sort of chaos in this development, and some people would say, okay, that makes the game ripe for a remake. I tend to be kind of scared of remakes, though, to fix problems of like rushed development and kind of a mess in the old one, because a remake, of course, is not preservation, unless it's the remake is not a remake. I mean, it's going to be different, and when you play the remake, people are not going to play the remake. They're going to play the original anyway, because you know it's the original. Like I try to play the original over remakes as much as possible. So I don't know, but because I want to know what the people who played this game when it came out actually experienced, like what the product was. Or there's something inherent in the nature of me that wants to know where everything came from, wants to know the origination, wants to go to the origin, the start, right? So it makes me want to play landmark old visual novels that inspired the many that are today, and play them in their original form, in the form that they inspired the ones we have today. So if there was a remake of Remember11, I would play the original and not the remake anyway. But you could accuse KID of making not quite a polished product here. With that structure. Anyway, that's kind of the end of the rant. We're going to keep rolling through this, trying to think through here. Let's see, I want to voice my objection. Is that correct? Yes. Wait until the next bad ending opportunity. Fast forwarding through this always takes a long time. This choice doesn't matter. This choice also doesn't matter. I don't know. Let's go to Hotori's room. Why not? We got the in the uterus part there. Yeah, there's a lot of good. Okay, so stop Warren Miyazumi is what I want to do here, right? Yeah. Keeping going. into a private room. I don't think you can get a bad ending in here. As Kokoro. You can make a bad ending trigger if you play as Satoru, and then you come back as Kokoro, and it triggers a bad ending, and Scars Taste Like Paranoia. This doesn't matter. There you get no new text because all these scenes are 100% of Kokoro. Every single one of these scenes is 100% Kokoro, so we're not going to see any new text as we go through. It's going to be very boring. Do the trickster thing. Doesn't matter. That choice doesn't matter, really. That text might change depending on what you do as Satoru. I have to wait through these cutscenes with nothing in them, besides a lamp. Shadow of Falsehood. It's where we have some missing text or something, but... Why is my microphone... Like, okay, well, there's something wrong with my microphone, but I'm not going to fix it during the recording because I know it's recording my voice still, so... Keep rolling. Ignore Mizumi. No bad end. I don't think this choice matters. So I'll just keep running after him. I don't think you can hit a bad ending in this part. I don't think this one matters. Tell me to try reading Mizumi's palm. Ask her about Satoru. Don't review it. Curious about Satoru's message. I'll fix it. That the choice doesn't matter really. Okay, let's make the fire hotter, right? I'm pausing to, yes, make the fire hotter. life. That's interesting. You search for... Okay, I don't think this matters. Okay, save. And save this in 59. Yes. New life. And they're going to say I ate. I think Yomogi is right. Okay, I'm going to hit a save here. And put it here, actually. Yes. And I'm going to... Asking me why he ran away. We're going to hit Annihilation, I believe. Maybe it's going to be Annihilation 1. Nope. Interesting. Okay. I hurry back to the cabin. Why is this not skipping? Okay. Interesting you don't get Annihilation there. And then they're going to do something kind of strange. They're going to say, I'll safeguard it. And I think we're going to die of poison food, right? I'm going to switch back. Now we're going to hit White World. That's interesting. Okay. Let's save this. Here. Yes. And then we're going to do walk away from the building and keep going. And we're going to die, right? Okay, let's see if that triggers a bad ending as Satoru. Which means I have to do more fast forwarding. Yes, save the system data. New game, Satoru.
Yeah.
We're already like half an hour in. Quite long. Okay, this doesn't matter. At least not a Satoru. Yes, you have to go through the whole intro again. There isn't like a skip to the next choice thing, is there?
Tenshi.
No, let's just... I hope there'd be a skip to next choice feature. That would make this a lot more convenient. I just don't know of a button that does that. couldn't animate the big boom, so we made it crash behind him out. Oh, they did actually animate a boom. Never mind. I never noticed that before. I'm not going to mute the intro cutscene this time because I have nothing to say now. I ran out of stuff to say, so... This is going to play full volume. Okay, finally got through that. Now I should be able to roll again. Yep. This shouldn't matter. This also shouldn't matter. Learn about the terabyte disk, which is not very plot relevant, really. I just came to help. Just confirm it, whatever. Sounds familiar. Pick different random combinations later, but... pick the opposite choice, so I don't know. We have to get all the way to White World in the timeline, so a long way to go. Come on. Okay, we should survive this time. Yep, good. I forgot what order we've done these in, but whatever. I guess the shelves don't need to be examined. Yeah. Try good morning. Try breakfast style. Probably have some, maybe. I'll put some milk in this time, I guess. I climbed it. It's gonna be a long way till we get to White World. Several days. Try different combinations of things here. Try uni first. Okay, not getting anything new here. Probably won't get anything new on this side either. Oh, time passed. It was now 4 p.m. I returned to my room and thrown myself down on the bed in deep thought. Okay, you want to hit run away here because otherwise you get a bad ending. Which we don't need, we already did that part. I already got the bad ending, the corresponding Kokoro bad ending. Say I believe it, I guess. Okay, reflection 2. We have a 100% reflection 2. There was just some lines missing in reflection 1. Okay, here's the random stuff. Let's pick randomly. Um, that being said, I would kind of rather lose because I get to figure out what's more likely to figure out what's going on with those anxiety meds. But nothing new that way. Okay, I don't know if I won or lost. Again, that's like a scene title being a hint. Okay, this did not appear to trigger any sort of bad endings. Okay. Fatal. Where was this place? When I came to, I was collapsed face down in the snow. I tried to get up, but my body was frozen over and wouldn't move. When I tried to force myself to move, I felt as if my whole body would crack, crumble, and shatter. I was being reduced to crystals of ice. Even though it was sunny, my cheek and the side of my neck were lying in deep snow. So was my back. The heavy weight of the snow pressed down on me, told me that. But mysteriously, I wasn't cold. You could feel cold when the external temperatures are vastly different from your body's. But my body was already completely frozen. It was being absorbed into the surrounding snow. I could barely breathe. But when I exhaled, it was white, indicating the faint warmth that barely remained. The puffs of white covered just above the snow like gathering storm clouds. But they didn't last long. The white dissolved into the darkness. It stretched out into a thin mist, a weak vapor of breath, bit by bit slipping away. Gradually, the intervals between each breath grew longer and longer. A silver field of snow was reflected in my eyes. Where my field of vision terminated, the starry sky felt as though it would fall at any moment. Wrapped in the embrace of those twinkling stars, a gentle breeze carried my last exhalation away. Cool. Yay, I died again. A new, unique way. So, what is that one called? Oops. Satoru freezes end. Cool. Let's try to get a different one. So I'm gonna load White World again. And I'm gonna say now, walk along the wall. And I'm gonna skip forward. I'm gonna hit a bad end. Wait. Okay, well, go the wrong way at least. Yay, got stabbed. Okay. So that was quick. Next part will not be quick. Yes. So now I have to use that to initiate another Satoru off that.
Yeah, check.
I would pause the video encoding when I did this so that you wouldn't get, so it wouldn't be boring, but there's a possibility sometimes you can get new text because I haven't 100%ed all of the scenes in Satoru's side. So I can kind of stumble on like new text and say reflections 1 or something like that. But make the wrong combination of choices. Although I could skip through this part though. I'll skip until I get through, like, the intro. How's that? Okay, I got through all of the intro stuff, and now I'm into the Satoru route proper. Skipping forward here. Quite boring, isn't it? Yeah, that's how it could work. 'Cause you defaultly hit the bad ending, and then you have to make the right choice as the other character. Like it's like the bad ending first. That would make sense. But they decide to not do that. Yeah, we're about an hour in. Yeah, about an hour in, lots of boring fast forwarding. Reflection 1. Did I get any new text in here? No. In a bushy first. Why not? Pick different things. No. gonna play it safe all the way through. See if that does anything it hasn't done before. Whoops, I hit the microphone. It probably made a big boom. Oops. Sorry for just like killing your ear there. I might be able to edit out in post, but it's going to be this big, like several hour long audio file, and I'm going to forget it's in there. I'm not going to be able to find it in there. Okay. I have to sit through this entire thing again. Black. Wonder why that choice wasn't grayed out, but they had the same text as before. I guess could make a choice there or something. Okay, fatal. A sudden sensation of being torn free from my own skin overwhelmed me, but I wasn't in any pain. I was peacefully drifting in a misty white world. I didn't know what had happened. After spending a while like that, the misty suddenly disappeared as if blown away. I was in the sphere. A transfer had occurred. I understood what had just happened, but something felt different from before. My field of vision. My consciousness was defying gravity. I was floating around the ceiling. Somehow my blood was separated from my consciousness. My body was separated from my consciousness. How strange of me to remain so calm even under these circumstances. Maybe I'm just thinking without using my brain. My emotions have been carried far away. I had no physical body either. The only thing working seemed to be my sense of sight, but you couldn't exactly call the way I perceive things now seeing. How could I describe it? I'm absorbing information, immersing in it. It was a concept that human intellect could not know, and therefore there was no word in human knowledge to describe it. I didn't want to, but I found myself looking down at the scene below me. My body had fallen into the bathtub. There were stab wounds across my chest and abdomen. The bathtub was an ocean of blood. The viscous soup of blood collected in the bottom of the tub. I, who was floating in the air, had passed away at some point. An existence of the zeroth dimension, nothingness. Even faced with the gruesome spectacle, I felt nothing, because I had lost my emotions. But, in the core of my being, something ached. Even though it was starting to fade, it flickered like a flame. I was so sad that I was dead. Losing myself was very, very... How'd it turn out like this? This is the worst possible ending. I was dead. And my death meant Kokuro's disappearance as well. Is she dead? The instant I became aware of it, my existence vanished. So it claims that is the worst possible ending. It's apparently not Yomogi Annihilation. It's that one. Okay, we found the worst ending now. But it was worse because he died. He died in a bunch of other ones too, so. Okay, I'm gonna check for fast forwarding reasons. I'm gonna check the how far we've seen I've got. But I'm gonna check with the ending name first, of course. Of course, stabbed to death in bathroom in B. This one is still missing. Great, so there's a Miyazumi Annihilation 1. Bad ending? Oh dear. A Miyazumi Annihilation 1 bad ending? I'll have to go back for that? Oh dear. Because that's the only ending in between there that you could die off of, I think. Great. And then 3 more bad endings before we get to Itsumi on a rampage. Okay. Well, let's see for fast forwarding reasons. There's still only 90% on Shadow of Falsehood. 96% on Beginning of Ego Collapse. Still missing a scene. 94% on Self-Defense False Accusation. 63% on Endless Mantled Environment. Missing scene up there, but we know what that one is. Okay, so we're 100% all the way up until we get to Reflection 1. So, but the choices up until Reflection 1 affect, like, lines at Reflection 1, right? So, I don't know. And receive a really low percentage for some reason. Low percentage on DHA. Still 94 on NBA. Then we're 100% all the way until we get to Insanity, where we're at 52%. Huh. Okay. Well, Let's do a continue. We want to load White World, right? So we're gonna walk away from the building. We're gonna stop. We're gonna left. We should have survived. Yep, okay, now it did break out. Look out the window, I guess. And a poison food ended, which is what I wanted to do. Yay. Now we gotta start out Satoru. So, I'm gonna pause my encoding. I'm somewhere in the middle of fast forwarding and decided to turn the recording back on just here, just in case. It hit soon. Trying to avoid the fast forwarding. No new text. Whatever choices I made so far as Satoru, has caused no new text to alert. So, you didn't miss anything. The new text would appear. Ideally, I would unpause the encoding to show the new text, although I may not remember exactly, or record, or definitely not record how you get that new text. Okay, so we're still behind the whole Izumi killing everybody part. So we're actually a long ways to go. Well, I'll let it roll and walk away. Gotta walk back to make a choice. Okay, return to my seat. I'm now at my post again. Like that matters. Oh yeah, I have to fast forward through the whole Inamoto part. Say with milk. Doesn't like it matters. I think I already got all the text in this scene possible, so. Next time I'll remember that I have to get through the whole Inamoto part before I get to whatever bad ending I'm going for. Okay, finally. Well, first of all, my head hurt so badly it felt like it was going to split open. Such a wrenching pain that I wouldn't be surprised if my head exploded at any moment. As if it were being attacked if it were being attacked by the pain of something flooding within my brain. My heart was racing as though the hour of my death was at hand. An intense nausea overcame me, as though my stomach was turning itself inside out. My throat was numb and stinging. What had Kokoro drunk, or been forced to drink? But why? Anyway, I can't do anything unless I can get my body to move. If I just lay on the floor like a rubber doll, I'll never find out what happened. But even with that said, what am I supposed to do? For now, should I try throwing up the contents of my stomach? This raging headache is a clear sign that my life is in danger. I had the determination, but it's almost impossible to vomit while lying face up. And if I wasn't even capable of lifting my arm a few millimeters to stick my finger down my throat, nothing could be done. It hurts my head. My head! Despite the maddening pain, I couldn't even writhe in agony. I could only move my eyelids. I tried shutting them tight. Complete darkness, without even a crack of light shining through. The shadows surrounding me began to turn muddy, and then stagnant bubbles rose to the surface and popped, scattering like a sticky spray. Like silly string? The splashes of darkness became drops of rain. A syrupy black liquid poured down upon me. The rain came thundering down in the darkness. The swarm of dark droplets split into 6 whirling spirals and disappeared. From within them 6 demons appeared. These terrifyingly large demons descended gracelessly on flapping wings like flayed human hides. They began to speak in cursed words as they began the ceremony of ruin. A foul stench pierced my nostrils and rose to consume me. I saw a series of grotesque scenes parroted before me, a panoply of chaos and despair. The premonition of my own death set me shivering, and I succumbed to a terror so great I wanted to scream. Adrift in that foul, brutal, stinking blackness, I slowly began to feel pain eating away at my body. The darkness only continued to thicken. No, it might not be that the darkness was getting thicker, but just that I myself was growing thinner and thinner. My melting body began to dissolve and drift to the bottom of a great abyss, sinking into everlasting ruin, slowly sinking until I was buried. Cool beans. Yes. Okay, what was that one called? Blood vessels burst in. Sweet. Okay, 2 more bad ends to go before I get to Itsumi on a rampage. So 2 more bad ends as Kokoro, I guess. One of them is probably, oh no, do I have to get to, is there one for like the Meizumi annihilation, and then there's one for the, because you can die all kinds of ways. How do I know which ones are going to trigger this? Like, I could be fast forwarding all the way through Satoru just to find it doesn't get triggered by whatever I'm doing. So if 24 is caused by a Kokoro bad end, it would probably be Meizumi Annihilation 1, just because that's the Kokoro bad end that happens in that timeline. Satoru's fast death, let's see, Kokoro, Genocide Sphere, yeah. Then Meizumi 1, then Annihilation Meizumi 1. So I have to get Annihilation Meizumi 1 for that one. For 24. And then with 28 and 29, I don't know. Meizumi Annihilation 2, Yomogi Annihilation, Meizumi Annihilation 3, Kokoro falls from the ice, whatever it is, Kokoro Avalanche at Location X. There's so many different, I think there's so many different, like, I think Avalanche at Location X causes an ending. Those endings, like, happen after here. Um, man, this is good. This is so boring. This sucks. So this might actually help me out here. Like looking at the scene list. So, the scene list. Where are there missing scenes? And where are there missing CGs? So, so you die and receive, die in DHA, die in insanity. Could you theoretically die in insanity? Huh. Die in promise. This is interesting. This is just odd. Okay. Um. Anyway, so I can load heaven. Let me just go with what I was trying to do here. So I'm going to load. Heaven is here or new life? No, wrong one. Yeah, I want to load new life, I believe. At dinner time, I didn't eat. And then continue. Do I think Yomogi is right? Here I'm going to I'll safeguard it. Yeah, White World. There we live.
違います。
Didn't trigger anything new. Okay, in the mental environment. Stay still. Huh. But I need you. You don't get into endless mental environment though if you do that. Okay. Should I bother? No, I won't. He's in this mental environment. I don't think we get any new death things. Like if I do the death stuff. Yeah, it's the same old death. Okay, so I don't get more text in this mental environment if I do the Miyazumi Annihilation 2 stuff beforehand. Dying at the crash site is a common enough bad ending that might, the crash site death might trigger a bad ending of Satoru. I just wanna get to the end of Kokoro at this point. I could like start a bunch of new Satorus for each bad ending, but that this is so hard to record. Continue watching. The end of self-sacrifice, so you stop self-sacrifice. It's a long conversation with Miyazumi. More seagull stuff that doesn't make sense. Supplies. It's probably because the Sawtooth bad ending. Wait, did I not do that right somehow? Phooey. So going back, and keep still, stay still and watch, you just die? Okay, well, great. I messed up. I have to go all the way back here. was so far back. Okay, I think I made it through. I just forgot you need to keep going on the first one for some reason. Oh, good endings. I couldn't understand it at all. This was an event that transcended the limits of my comprehension. Oh, never mind, okay. But what, how, when had this happened? Had made this happen? I didn't understand a
どうして
thing. Why? Why did I whisper that? Okay, here we go. Abyss of Despair 2. I was back at the shelter cabin before I realized it. But no one was there. Yomogi, Meizumi, and even Yuni. I couldn't find the slightest trace of anyone. It was only I who existed. No, that wasn't the only thing strange. Amazingly, even the signs that we had ever been here had vanished. The table, chairs, and shelves which Yomogi had destroyed to use for firewood had gone back to the way they were. As if they were never been touched, the supplies and firewood used these past 4 days had been restored as well. Well, use them! I wandered unsteadily through the cabin. On the table was a newspaper. The newspaper dated July 4th, 2011. The headline, 3 decomposed male and female corpses found in Aokakura, had disappeared from it. I don't understand. I don't understand anything anymore. Had I just been dreaming this whole time? A nightmare without end. I heard the sound of the blizzard. Stabbing pain dragged me back to reality. Here. Where is it? Something dark, round, and cylindrical covered everything around me. It was filled with a strange smell. Because of that awful smell, I could feel something welling up from the pit of my stomach. I could hear the rumbling of the storm on the other side of the cylindrical walls. I wore a jacket, a leather coat, a wool sweater, a scarf, and gloves, so many layers of clothing. I still felt the cold in the marrow of my bones. Yet for some reason I wasn't shivering. Slowly, gradually, my entire body lost all feeling. Through my weakening consciousness, I realized it, that I had returned to that day.
ごめごめ
The song I suddenly began to chant. I felt it. Behind me was the shadow of the existence that had beckoned us into the
夜
situation.
明けのパンに
In the evening lit by the dawn, it had neither volume nor mass, a point, a hollow nothingness.
後ろの正面誰
Who's that behind you? And then the nothingness swallowed me. Right. Uni never went back in time, is the idea. Yes. And that is Alone in the Shelter Cabin, Disaster End. And that is the last of the Kokoro bad endings. As for Satoru, I have 5 more bad endings to find. 5 more bad endings. 5 more. Ah! Well, it's gonna be long. Yeah, this one is probably like, you get Meizumi Annihilation 1 or something. This is like, you end up at like dying at the crash site. Avalanche at Location X is probably one of these. Probably number 32. Actually, there's only 4. They're probably number 33. Kokoro Falls from the Cornice might be one. That might be number 32. And I have to get all these specific endings and then like go in as Satoru and go through all of Satoru all over again and end up at these endings. And it's just, oh dear. Well, let's start the process. Clear list. No, I have to like start over from the Satoru from the I think I'll just hang this up and do it on the next recording. Okay. 28 out of 33. 96 out of 110. 111 out of 116. 35 out of 35. 90% of the messages. 96% of the choices. All the Kokoro scenes I've encountered, but some of them are oddly very incomplete. Nope, there is one missing at 51, between at the end of Grudges and Frightened and is Frightened. Frightens and is Frightened, which is interesting. And Satoru, a lot of missing on Receive, a lot of missing on DHA, a lot of missing on Insanity, awful lot missing on Promise, a lot missing on Symbolic, some missing ones here. Yeah. Okay, well, that's it for now. I don't look forward to the next one where I'll continue this fast forwarding grind.